Good week for Iowa State University over in Lincoln, Nebraska. Volleyball team comes over here and ends a 75 match losing streak and really, helped send a message for this university and our athletic department. Football team comes over here and wins for the first time since 1977. What a great fan support that we had here today. I'm sure the student section, as well as everybody back in Ames, would love to come out and greet this football team when we get back, probably about 7:30 in Ames, Iowa tonight. You come into a stadium like this and you play without the Big 12's leading rusher. You play without your starting quarterback, not to mention a lengthy list of individual football players who were sick. We had fevers throughout the week. We had guys miss practice throughout the week. We had guys puking in buckets before the game, at the hotel, halftime, and to extend that kind of effort is just a fabulous, phenomenal effort, and I couldn't be prouder of our football team.
A little emotional after the game, huh?
A little bit. I'm that type of guy.
How were you able to do this? I mean, without your best two players.
Team. We responded. I don't know. It was an interview with one of the 15 Nebraska networks this week that called and wanted to talk. And so we said, well, how did you beat Baylor? How did you come back? And how we came back from the Kansas State and Kansas losses were because of those losses and because the kids felt bad about it. Kids today, in my opinion, at least some of the guys that have been around in the last 5-7 years, are too resilient. They bounce back too fast. And those losses hurt. They hurt our football team. Those were long bus rides home. Those were long Saturday nights. There was a lot of carryover into Sunday and the work we had to do the next week. But we didn't shy away from that work. And we knew if we were going to win games like that, we were going to advance this program sooner rather than later. We were going to do it as a football team and not as individuals.
The fake punt, what did you see there?
They were very sound with what they did. We went into the game. We've gone into every game with a fake punt. Everybody does. It was time for momentum, an opportunity for momentum to possibly swing. They've got an outstanding defense. Are you kidding me? 8 turnovers I think we gained, and the final score of this game was 9-7. Anybody else that had that kind of turnover advantage would have won by 30 or 40 points. Credit Nebraska. They've got an unbelievable defensive football team and a coaching staff that got them to hang around. So at that point, with the thought that, how much will we be able to drive and how much will we be able to score, it was the right place on the field to run it. We'd had a couple looks at what they'd done. They'd actually done something different, and we had to adjust the fake to accommodate that if we got it. And the boys executed the play awfully well. Before that, we're down 7-3. And they are smoking down the field. I mean, they are heading for pay dirt. They're going in. There's no question they're going in. And we take a timeout and rally the troops. And that set the stage up for, hey, we can't play with a lack of juice, with a lack of enthusiasm like we're playing right now. Defensively, they bowed up. We got the stop. We go out there and get the fake punt, and then Jerome, Jake, and then the rest of the offense execute. We were fortunate to get 7 points out of it on the big play.
Paul, when did you know you were going to be without Alexander and Austin, and what do you tell Jerome and the backup running back?
Thursday and Friday. Thursday with Alexander, which has been the normal progress with him since the Army game. And Thursday, he's normally gone out and executed at various levels, and then he couldn't even go out and perform and practice on Thursday. And at that point, we knew we were done with him. Austin threw the ball on Friday, and we were hopeful that by Saturday he might be even a little bit more advanced. He would have gone in if he had to today, and could have. There's just still too much swelling where the grip needed on the ball to get the velocity that he needs to throw balls efficiently. He didn't have. In last night's hotel meetings, we talked to Jerome and Jeremiah about stepping up. Time to grow up. If you picked a place for your backup quarterback to start a game, I promise you it wouldn't be Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then at the same time, everybody else on the trip, 69 football players, we had them stand up as a team and made sure those two knew they weren't going to have to win it by themselves. They weren't going to have to win it as individuals. All they had to do was their job, and we come in the stadium today as a football team we could achieve.
Are they ready to go next week?
I would suspect so. Yeah, I would suspect so. That there was, we played Alexander in the Kansas State game because of the competitor that he is, and we thought he had a shot. He was done, quickly through a quarter of play. I don't think he would have even got to that point today. He could have gone out there and started the game, but he wasn't going to play very long, and there was no reason to push back where he could be any longer. It's a little bit different. The swelling's in a different place. They got to work it out. But I would believe that he would be ready for the game next Saturday. And Austin, I expect him to be out there practicing tomorrow.
Coach, can you talk about how big this win is for your football program?
It's big. You don't win in a stadium on the road since 1977. It's big. This is a football program that has as much tradition as anybody in college football. This is a program that was in the top 25 a week ago. It's a big win. And I don't want to belittle it. It's just how we're trying to build this football program. As a team, you take steps and you get over hurdles. The win last week versus Baylor was a dang big win because it was our fourth win of the season. It was our first Big 12 win in a long time. It was our first Big 12 win of the season. Now we got two of them. And we're excited about that. We're enthused about that. But when the film's done tomorrow, we put this one to bed. Texas A&M's up next on the docket, and we got to go right back to work. This one won't beat Texas A&M.
Coach, plenty of strips, fumble recoveries. How many times did you run the fumble Ruski in practice?
It's strange. Who knows why? Who knows why we get all those balls out like we do? We didn't do any extra strip drills or anything like that. They didn't fumble anymore because one guy fumbled. Strange day. Maybe somebody thought it was 32 years was long enough, and we needed to come out of here victorious.
Speaking of that, do you think karma-wise, after KU and K-State, you were overdue for a game like this? Get the football gods on your side?
No, we worked too hard. We worked too hard to rely on that. Turnovers, maybe, but not in victories.
Talk about how Tiller responded to the pressure of being out there and how he performed today.
He looked pretty cool to me, and he had a lot of people hitting him. I mean, it was a physical game as it always is playing against these guys. He got rid of some balls very smartly when he got out of the pocket and threw them downfield past the line of scrimmage to get out of trouble. But about every single one of those, he got his body rocked, and he's not a real stout guy. And came off limping, came off dragging, and with a look in his eye like he was going to finish the deal.
What about the broken leg?
Taron Benton broke his leg in the first half, and the rascal kept on running back on the doggone field. And they took him in and got it x-rayed and found out that it was indeed fractured. And he's crying his eyes out at halftime because his season's probably done, and he can't go out in the second half and help this football team. And he was far from isolated as the only guy that had that kind of attitude.
How would you classify the guys that were sick? Are these starters, defensive guys, your offensive?
There was a lot of folks that played football today that were sick, and I mean sick.
Like with flu symptoms?
Combination. Cold and flu and everything that goes along with it. I promise you, nobody in this room would like to feel like they did.
Tiller one of them?
No, Jerome Tiller was not. Although with the butterflies going around here, he might have felt the same way, which is a different effect.
Brantner, for a while, was your MVP, at least in the first half.
As he told me after the game, I set that score up, don't you, Coach? Trying to take a lot of credit for it. I reminded him he had a couple of bad punts to go along with it. And a couple of big ones towards the end.
Coach, are you surprised at how fast this program has kind of turned around for you in your first year?
Oh, I don't know if surprise would be the right way of describing it. We're making progress. Our goal and expectation was and has been and always will be for this 2009 season to improve every single stretch of the way. One guy improving on his pass protection, another guy improving on his tackling, improving on our GPA, improving on getting to every class, getting to our study hall hours, improve. And I think we're doing that. The result has led us to 5 victories at this point, and a team that I think feels pretty confident and happy with the direction of the program.
James Smith, can he play the next
The,
game?
the letter of the rule, I believe, is he has to sit out the first half of our next football game because of the ejection in the second half.
Did you see the play?
I did not. I mean, it was a turnover on a play. He just described it to me. They were very. I don't want to use the word apologetic. Nobody wants to eject a guy, and they wanted to be right about the call. And I'm sure they got it right. They said he threw a punch and connected to the gentleman's neck. And if that's the case, then James should have been ejected.
Thank you, Coach.